Martin O'Neill has been talking today to Celtic TV. He's been talking about the title race. Let me read out a couple of the quotes to you. He says, a record in the league across the whole time that he's been there. We've lost 2 league games. We lost at home to Hibs and Trust to get sent off. We were in the ascendancy at that time. Who knows? I don't think we'd have lost that game. Dundee United was disappointing in the second half, particularly. We've drawn 2 games away at Hearts and Rangers. Overall, if you'd said to me coming in way back at the end of October, would I settle for this position? Absolutely. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
I think he's paraphrasing. Do you want to translate? Do you want me to translate for you?
Absolutely.
Yes, of course. I wish that Wilfried Nancy fever dream hadn't happened. Well, that's what it is. He's basically saying, and he's right. He's 100% right, and the stats will back him up. That when he went in first time around to replace Brendan Rodgers, Celtic were in a bit of trouble. Hearts were a decent, healthy lead over them at the top of the table. And by the time that Martin O'Neill stepped away to let Wilfried Nancy into the driver's seat, the gap had been closed significantly, and Celtic were absolutely the whole trajectory of Celtic's season was going in exactly the way that Celtic and Martin O'Neill and everybody else would have wanted it to be. He then steps away. Wilfried Nancy writes the thing off, drives into a tree the side of the road, and then he's forced to come back again. And when he comes back again, he's like, oh, everything that he did over that first period had just got wiped out in the Wilfried Nancy car crash.
It's been undone now.
So he had to start all over again, except this time, rather than it being October, and sorry, when was the first? When did he first go in? Was it October? Yeah. October. So rather than having a good run from October all the way to the end of the season, he's had to come in January when all sorts of new damage has been done, and he needs to repair all that damage and then try and get Celtic back in the same trajectory that had him the first time around. And the stats prove, Daniel, that he's done it. The stats over his 2 stints this season, he has won 83% of the points that have been available to him for Celtic in the league. Wilfried Nancy's return was 33%. And even Brendan Rodgers at the start of the season was 64%. So if Celtic pull this off, as much as we're talking there about James Tavernier and what a way for his season to end, if Celtic pull this off, then it's entirely down to what Martin O'Neill has done over the 2 periods. Because if it wasn't for him, then, look, Celtic aren't, they're not even in the conversation for the top 3 if it wasn't for Martin O'Neill and what he's done. But they're bang slap in the middle of the conversation for the top spot with 5 games to go. And that's entirely down to him. And the only one thing, the board gets a lot of criticism, rightly so. The only one thing that I think the board have done right this season was A, bring him in the first place after Dermot Desmond had lacerated Brendan Rodgers, and B, at least they were quick enough to admit that they'd got it horribly wrong with Wilfried Nancy, and they brought Martin O'Neill back in when he at least, as much as it was a long shot by then, he at least had a reasonable-ish amount of time to do something about repairing the damage and salvaging the season. But if the whole Wilfried Nancy debacle doesn't happen right in the middle of all that, where are Celtic? They might already be celebrating a championship.
Aye. Marzuno points out, Keith, in the comments, Celtic, Rangers, Tottenham and Chelsea have all hired unqualified frauds who lasted weeks this season. I know it's not Scottish football, but Liam Rowe Senior getting sacked by Chelsea today. Man. 3 months and a 6.5-year contract.
6.5-year contract. And honestly, I mean, I know people will say I'm a dinosaur, but as soon as you saw the way he was handling himself, conducting himself, the way he was speaking in press conferences,
Keith, you need to respect the ball. You need to respect the ball.
This stuff about protecting the ball, doing huddles round the ball in a halfway line. What did he think he was taking over? An under-12s team? What did Chelsea think they were doing hiring this guy? This is, look, Marzuno's spot on here. If you're going to hire your managers from LinkedIn, then expect this, because this is what it is. It's a nonsense. And do you know, the more that you see these examples of this sort of out-the-box, blue sky thinking, and it goes almost, you're almost looking at it going, you're hard now. It's the outliers are the successful ones. the bottom line is the vast majority of these guys, they're having catastrophic consequences on the clubs that appoint them.
Aye.
And you wonder at what point does football realise, do you know what, guys, what were we thinking over that period of time? Can we go back to just identifying guys that are really good at understanding football and understanding man management? Because see if we can get these two bits right, we've got a real chance of having a successful manager.
Yeah.
Understand the game, understand the people involved in the game. And if you can't connect with them, and if you tell them, grown men, to go and stand around the ball and protect the ball before you, I mean, look,
madness.
I just can't imagine any scenario where inside the dressing room, people aren't waiting for him to leave the room and then going, what? He wants us to, what?
Well,
if the
David,
players don't respect the manager, they're not winning anything under that manager.
David says in the comments, one word, bonkers. And Kyle says, Rosinha didn't even last as long as Russell Martin. I mean, that is a stinging indictment.
What did they have in the end? 170 odd days?
Something like that, aye.
So it was more than 5 times what Wilfried Nancy got. And that's what I'm saying. That's the one bit of credit you can give the Celtic board is they acted quickly there. They did identify that this was it wasn't even an accident waiting to happen. It was an accident unfolding before their very eyes. I don't give them too much credit for it.
Nancy got 8 games, I think, didn't he? 8 games, lost 6 of them.
33 days.
Aye, that's mad.
I think he dropped 12 league points over that space of time.
Aye, crazy.
So, I mean, even if Martin O'Neill continued he's round about the 80% mark of points, that's asking me. I'm asking myself to do some on-the-air arithmetic here. You're looking at what, 8, 9, 10 points? Celtic would be better off right now?
Something like that, aye.
Yeah.
Aye.
So yeah, just about home and hosed in terms of winning the title this year.
You'd have thought so, aye.